It's 6:30 in the morning here at Manila International Airport, and today I'm flying Cebu Pacific 561, heading out to Lapu-Lapu at Mactan Cebu International Airport. Not a very long flight, but let's see how this goes in this A321neo, and this is a plane that actually fly on this route. Alright, so let's get ready here. This is going to be sort of abbreviated just to save time. First of all, I'm going to turn on our batteries. Battery 1, battery 2. We have our GPU connected. It says avail here, so turn that on, which basically turns the aircraft on. And let's get our displays up here. Let's get a little more light in here. Arm our emergency lights. Our recorder ground control there, so we can talk, so it can record our conversations with ground, and let's enable our IRSs. It's good to wait for the on-bat light to go out first before going to the next one. And alright, that should do it. Turn on our nav logo lights to 1. And let's turn on all 6 of our fuel pumps. And our RMPs. Not that I really use these much, since I don't fly online. Okay, let's get our flight plan in place here. Let's look at our route. Actually, we need to set up our weight and balance before we do that. And so we've got 7.897 tons of fuel. 7.9, we'll put that in there. And our weight is 71.5 tons. That's TONNES tons. So need to check that number there. A few more people on. Okay, that's about right. So look at our init here. So we're flying from Romeo Papa Lima Lima and ending up at Romeo Papa Victor Mike. Flight 561. Cost index is 6. Cruise at 350. And our temperature, let's go to this page here. We'll be at minus 42. Align IRSs. Now that's in our flight plan. We will depart runway 6 on the Ipata 2 Romeo, I believe. Let's look it up here. Yes, Ipata 2 Romeo. So it's that one. No transition. Inserted into our flight plan. So there we go there. Ends up at Ipata, so let's see where we go next. Airway Whiskey 25 to Bate. So let's hit Ipata here. We'll do Whiskey 25 to Bate. You can see how short this flight is. Alright, and then we'll do our destination arrival, RNAV 4 approach. The star is Bate 3 Papa. It's right here. Via Tonyo. No transition. Insert. Alright. Let's take a look here. Go into plan mode. And we'll just scroll through this. Let's start at the beginning. Here's Manila International. Go to Tanao. Falls, Kawit to Ipada. You can remember that. Over to Bate. Then we start our arrival. Over to Tonyo, where you make a left. Then a 90-degree left here. Straight into our airport right there. So that looks good. Let's go back to the init page. Page 2. Let's load up our weight again. And zero fuel weight is 7.15. 71.5 rather. And our zero fuel weight CG is 27.4. Get that in. Block fuel is 7.9 tons. Alright. Go to our performance page. We'll select 1 plus flaps. Active flight plan. V1 is 152. V2 is 152, or V rotate rather, and V2 is 154. We're using flaps 1. Flex temp is 5.6. Not 6, 5.6. Okay, so that's our MCDU programmed. At least at this very shallow level. Okay, let's turn on the APU master. Right here. That brings up this page, so we can monitor our APU. Now we can turn it on, and once the flap opens, and it'll indicate that here, that's the intake flap to the APU, it'll fire up the APU, which is a little turbojet engine that generates electricity. So you can see the APU winding up here, and compressed air to start the main engines. So while that's going to take a little bit to start up. Okay, so let's set some other things up here. We'll fly at 35,000 feet. Our current altimeter is QNH 1010. That sets it in our backup also, as well as our first officer. APU's almost ready. It'll say avail when it is, and it is saying that. So it's now generating electricity. So we can turn off external power. Right here. Switch buses over to the APU's electrical bus. And we can disconnect our APU here. We also need to close all our doors. Close our passenger door, catering door, and our cargo doors. Interesting, on Airbuses the doors open out. You would think the safer option is to open in right now, so we need to push back to the left. Bring up better pushback. So we're going to push back to the left here.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
I am ready.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Okay. There's our tow there. Let's turn on APU bleed. Should hear the fans a little bit. And turn on our beacon. Warn people that we'll be starting up soon.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Now, Cebu Pacific has a mostly Airbus fleet. They also have some Embraers, regional jets of various kinds, and a bunch of ATRs as well. But sort of their money makers are the Airbuses. You can see it lifting the plane now. Let's go back in the cockpit.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Release a parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
So the jetway's pulling away. Let's turn on the igniters, or the ignition. Okay, let's turn on engine 2. So we can see N2 rising here. Now these LEAP engines do take some time to start up. They're a lot slower than the CFM56s or the other ones whose name I forgot now. See where we are. Okay. There's light off. That's our exhaust gas temperature. Heading up, here's our N1, which is the fan speed in percent. Then we should get a veil sign here when it's stabilized. There we go. So start up engine 1. You can hear our PTU, our power transfer unit. Some scattered clouds. Alright. Engine 1 is spinning up. You should see light up shortly.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Thank you for the smooth push. There's light off. Oh, a Cirrus Vision jet's waiting for us here. Parked a little close behind me. Okay, everything should be stable now. Let's bring flaps 1. Arm the spoilers. Turn on our taxi light. Turn off light. And that should do it for now. We can turn off the APU bleed. Rudder trim is reset. Flaps 1. Set the APU master off. And pack flow to norm. Set flight controls here. Take a look. Ailerons left, right. Elevator up, down, and rudder right, rudder left. controls free, clear, and correct. Alright, let's taxi over to runway 4. It's quite a drive out there. So first we'll need to taxi along, what is this? Delta? Then make a right turn on Charlie. Okay, so we'll make a right here to get onto Delta. Then make a left and then head all the way down. It's a pretty tight turn. We'll hold short here, get ready to go. Okay, set parking brake. Okay, so need to set our takeoff config. Auto brake max in case of a rejected takeoff, and then call the cabin. Okay, all the checklist items are done. So, landing lights on. Taxi lights to landing position. Strobes on. Okay, let's line up and wait. Parking brake off. Let's also check our wind. Variable 1 knot. Okay, nothing significant here. Line up onto runway 6. Okay, looks like everything is good. Once we get onto the piano keys, let's go up to 50% thrust. Stabilized. And go to flex. Waiting for our V1 here. V1 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. There's the city of Manila. Follow the flight directors here. Go to climb thrust. Time to set autopilot. And raise flaps. Taxi lights off. Turn off lights off. Disarm the spoilers. Looking very lovely here. Look how gigantic those LEAP engines are. Let's go into the cabin on the starboard side. Oops, not that far back. Sort of interesting, they put the registration, the tail number on the wing, sort of a very old school style. Okay, don't need this chart anymore. We are following the SID. There we are, right there, heading towards Falls. We're already at 12,000 feet, so let's turn off our landing lights and turn off the seatbelt sign. And go to standard pressure, standard altimeter. It's a little late on that. And let's bring up our pressurization display. So our cabin's pressure is going up in altitude by 530 feet per minute. Current cabin altitude is 3,400 feet. So everything looks very good there. Wow, look at those mountains. Let's take a look at our map here. Okay, flying out here. Those mountains, I guess. Oh, here it is. That is Mount Banahaw. So roughly 2,200 meters. So yeah, that's quite high. Sure, it's volcanic. And the Philippines are sort of right on the edge of the Marianas Trench, so a lot of volcanism around here, at least at some point. So one of the reasons or I guess the primary reason I'm flying in the Philippines today is because it is Bonifacio Day, which is a national holiday in the Philippines. Andres Bonifacio, if I'm pronouncing that remotely correctly, was basically a revolutionary, and he was key to the Philippines gaining independence from the Spanish colonial government. So this is a national public holiday, so schools are closed, a lot of businesses are closed, though it's probably a good shopping day though. I've heard most shopping is still open, especially around this time of year. Alright, we started our arrival procedure, which begins here at Bate and will end at Tonyo, right there, which starts our approach phase. So before Tonyo, I'll start our approach phase with this actuator here. Well, there's some tall mountains on some islands to the west. Okay, starting our approach. Let's review our flap speeds here. 227. Not there yet. Okay, that's setting our auto brakes in preparation for landing. Going on to our final approach now. Another notch of flaps. And drop the gears. Okay. I'm gonna turn off autopilot, turn off flight directors, turn on the bird. So that we can shift over a little. Happy with that.